All right, thank you for joining us. We're here with HPPTreasure Talk, and we have the wonderful, amazing president of TCRP, Latricia Tate. Thank you so much for being here with me. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about this.
Yes, awesome, awesome. Well, I am honored to say you are my first interview, and I am so pleased that we are on Black Girl, I should say Black Woman Magic, okay?
Yep.
Yes, and so I really, really appreciate this so much. But I want to kind of dive into a little bit about you, and we'll kind of start out with what you would like to share about you for the viewers. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am I'm an entrepreneur. I am a community advocate, community leader. I am a mother of four adult children, and I have a bonus child, and I have 8 grandchildren, and they keep me super busy, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
I know that's right. And you know what? I'm a little new to the bonus child. Someone else was telling me about a bonus child. I was like, what's that now? That's new to me. Like, but that's just an extra blessing in your basket, huh?
Absolutely. She's actually Mark's child. So like she's still in my life. And we we doing our thing.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And so then can I ask, are you in recovery?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So I'm not in recovery, but I'm a person with lived experience. So that means that my other half, Mark Jonigan, was 25 um, um, year addicted to crack cocaine, and was in recovery for an extended amount of time. My parents were also addicts. My life changed in the 80s when my parents were introduced to crack cocaine. And so I've had a lot of experience dealing with addiction. And most recently, I lost my firstborn nephew to an overdose of fentanyl. And my son suffers from substance use disorder. So I've been entrenched in it for a really long time.
Right. And I'm sorry to hear about your losses. You've went through a lot of challenges, and unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about Mark, if that's okay.
Hmm.
If you wanted to, talk to us about who Mark was and what his vision was for TCRP.
For sure. So Mark, like I said, he suffered from 25 years of addiction to crack cocaine. That addiction led him to a number of stints in the state penitentiary, in and out of jail a lot of times, in and out of treatment, in and out, in and out. So countless times in treatment. And there was a time where I think he just got tired of being sick and tired. Um, he had suffered a lot of trauma, physical abuse. He was sexually abused as a child. He had a lot of trauma he hadn't dealt with. His oldest son was murdered, and so that all of this stuff happened during this addiction, and so he had a lot of built up trauma. And so when he finally got tired of being sick and tired, I remember he said he had this wild idea that he was going to start a social club. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna back you up,
Right.
whatever you say. Okay, and so at the time he we have a relationship with Pastor Monica at ICCM Church in
Okay.
South Minneapolis, and so she was so gracious to allow Mark to start his organization at the basement of the church.
Okay.
And so that's where we evolved from. So it was originally called Twin Cities Recovery Social Club. And the social club was designed to bring people who were in recovery into a space where they could enjoy themselves free of substance and around people who are like minded. And then to also introduce a new lifestyle to people who were still using. Right. And so in the basement of the church, we had a live DJ. We had food concession stand. We had Domino's pool table, like, and people was coming, and it was mind blowing how many people were showing up. And so we eventually outgrew that space, and we moved to a different space. And at that time, we were talking about like grief and trauma, things he hadn't been able to tap into during his addiction. And so we ended up writing our own curriculum for grief and trauma. And we started going around to these different organizations like PPL, Project Proprietor Living, and Aon. And we were actually doing the grief and trauma trainings for free. At one point, one of the directors said, y'all need to start, asking for some money, because we had no money and we was running this organization out of our pocket. Right. And so at that time we had met Andre Johnson in Detroit, and he kind of mentored us a little bit. And at that point we realized we need to change our name to Twin Cities Recovery Project, because we wanted to start adding different programs to this thing. And so his vision was to build an organization that could support individuals who were struggling, individuals who are in recovery, and give them a safe space to come and just be introduced to a new lifestyle, meet new people, have people that look like you, support you, and walk you through your journey, because there's not a lot of support out here for Black people that's struggling, that's in addiction. And so he wanted to be that safe space. And so that's what we created.
Awesome. Now I remember at one point there are 2 different locations. Are there still 2 different locations?
No, we actually have 3 now.
Come on now. Come on, level up. Good for y'all. Because last time I was in Minnesota, I knew about 2. So yes, please tell me about the different locations, please.
Yes. So before Mark passed away, we had been working on this project. And he was oh my God, he was dead set on having this project done. He wanted to create a project where we could provide 24-hour service to people who were suffering from opioids. And we wanted to also implement the deflection piece to it, where people wouldn't be arrested for using. They would be deflected to a place for services, right? Right. Unfortunately, during this process, George Floyd was murdered. Mm-hmm. And so we had to take that off the table of working with law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So we decided to partner with Minneapolis Fire. Wow. Minneapolis Fire was elated to partner with us and to do this with us. And it was an amazing journey to just go through the process with them. And so Mark passed, and I want to say 2 weeks after he passed, I got an email that said the Maury station has been approved, right?
Oh, yeah.
And talking to the fire, they allowed us to move into Station 14 on Broadway in Lindale. Yes. So that's where we are. Our third station, our third location is at 2002 Lowry, inside of the Fire Station 14.
Come on now, breaking glass ceilings. Seriously, that's so amazing, Latricia. I did not know that. So that is so amazing. I'm happy for y'all.
Yeah, so the amazing thing about that is that the fire was very open to it was an amazing journey after he passed, because everybody was still really engaged into his vision. And so one of the things that Mark always wanted was, whether it was law enforcement or fire, was for them to be trained by our staff to be culturally responsive to individuals who suffer from substance use disorder. And so we had the privilege of training the fire department. And so now, even if we're not there, the fire department knows how to handle them and support them until they call us and we get there. So it's an amazing project.
Wow. Yes, that is amazing. Good for you. So, and actually I was going to kind of go into how your journey has been since his passing, and how you've been able to, you know, turn that situation and that challenge in your life into strength. But you just said it right there. You know what I mean? And that's absolutely amazing. What other things is the organization doing for the community? Tell us a little bit more about TCRP.
So I would say one of the, well, everything we do is amazing, I think.
Yes, honey.
But so one of the things I think that's super amazing about us, and I was thinking about this just like a couple of days ago, is that my team is always very creative. In the beginning, we was just going around doing outreach, and one day they came and said, "Miss Tate, we think we got to do something different." I said, "Well, what is that?" And they gave me this list, and they had a list of every touch point they were going to make throughout the week, throughout the community. People know us by our shirts. They know us because we're consistent. We come back to the same places all the time and build relationships. So now what they're doing is the South Side, they've broken up the teams. And I'm like, okay, so the South Side team hits all of the encampments and they service them. So they take out resources, they take out food, they take harm reduction tools, and we also partner with another organization that comes with us that does HIV testing. So we bring in the program to you. We bring in the supports to you. And so the other thing that we do is every team has an iPad. And so on this iPad, we can do on-the-spot assessments to help you get into treatment if you desire to do that. And so we take in the resources to the community. And so the South Side does their outreach to the encampments, and North Side is doing something that nobody else would dare to do. So they get their tables and they actually set up on the corner of Broadway and Lindale, on the corner of Penn and Lowry. So they hitting different spots every day just to set up, have the resources. And the beauty in it is I'm starting to see that the community members, especially the ones that's in active use, they're expecting us to show up on that day, because they're waiting for their food or their supplies or something. And so that's the beauty in that work. And I think that's one of our greatest programs.
No, and I think that's amazing. And it's also what it says to me, and what I hear is people know exactly where you're at, and then they can come to you when they're ready. Right. Mm-hmm. It might not be this week. It might not be. They might see that table and it might not be this week or next week. But you know what? Maybe this third week I had a really hard week and I know that table's going to be there. TCRP is going to be there. And that's when I'm going to go. So y'all meeting them exactly where they're at, you know, because I know that's kind of almost overused a lot. Everybody meet you where you're at. Right. But no, y'all are literally, you hear me? Literally meeting you with the technology and the table, baby. Okay. So that is so amazing. No, I wonderful 100% applaud you guys for that. So okay, fantastic. So now that kind of leads me to, because once again, you're all boots on the ground, right? That's another statement we say a lot. This boots on the ground for Summit. Now I happened to see that and I said, wow, what is that? So if you could tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, so boots on the ground. Oh God, that's a big one. Let me think. So Boots on the Ground was actually birthed through Mark in 2020. Yeah, it was 2020 when we couldn't meet people and, you know, we was all locked down. And he was like, well, I'm going to do a virtual conference. And of course, I was like, oh, my God, here you go. Right. But he made it happen. His plan was, so let me just tell you like who we still have and which I'm excited about. So when he first started this, he had Phil Rutherford, who is now with Black Faces, Black Voices, Dr. Corey Bell Saint from Harvard, and Dr. Ben from U of M. And so I am grateful for them. They stuck and they stayed with me even after. And they work really hard behind the scenes to keep boots on the ground going with me. And I so appreciate them. So yes, they rocking. So I guess I would say that Mark envisioned the conference to showcase like really innovative community RCOs and programs across the country. And he wanted to really have the people around the country see recovery and addiction through a Black lens. So all of our participants either are Black-led RCOs or they are Black leaders in the community who deal with addiction. So that's what it's all about, right? And he was fortunate enough to be able to pull some really heavy hitters in to help him design it. And so they also are part of it. We talk about equitable access. We talk about treatment, harm reduction, recovery services. And so this year we've implemented youth and substance use disorder. And what can we do to support them? Because there's nothing out here for youth. There's hardly any treatment. There's no recovery. There's nothing. And so that's one of our topics we'll be talking about this time as well. We have some really amazing speakers that's going to be there. We have Michael Askew from SAMHSA. We have Peter, I can never say his name, is Gamode. Well, he's from the White House. He's the officer of the National Drug Control. Then we have Jerome Adams. He is the former United States Surgeon General.
Yes.
And he has been with us since the beginning. Mark pulled him in somehow and he's never left. So he presents every year. They all have some really good information. And we're excited to share it with everybody. I think Dr. Corey told me we have close to 500 people already signed up. So our platform is growing bigger every year. And we're trying to bring quality work to everybody, so that we can be able to really fight this fight together, right? And really be those boots on the ground organizations. And we don't want, as a collective, but we don't want to just keep having the boots on the ground conference and not have them following through. So the goal is to always, when we have the boots on the ground, is to like meet somebody and connect with that individual and hopefully go see them and y'all work together and partner together, because I can't do this by myself. Right.
It takes a village. It takes a village.
Absolutely. So when we do these summits, I always reach out to individuals. I've been to Detroit, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Florida. Like, I'm going to everybody because I need to learn from you.
Yep.
I want us to do things together because it's our people that's out here dying.
Yeah.
And
it's greater in numbers too, right? Like some places, how Black folks sometimes, are siloed and we trying to do better than the next. But at the end of the day, there's so much in numbers, No,
I tell people all the time, I tell them I'm not here because I ask people to partner and they kind of hesitate. And I always say, like, I'm not here to compete. I'm not a competitor in this thing because I got Black bodies dropping everywhere. So I need to be able to do this with you so that we can do it better. And so that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, we need teammates, not competitors. Awesome. So it's a day-long webinar?
It's a day-long webinar.
Okay.
I think it's 8:30 to 4. And then I can't remember off the top of my head, but you do get CEUs for attending the training.
What day is it? Do you remember right off?
It's May 10th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Because I haven't signed up, but I am.
Yes, you're going to love it. And we have breakout sessions. We have some breakout groups that's going to happen as well. TCRP just recently got into, and it was birthed out of me having to, so one of our offices is at 1011 Broadway. So we get to look right out the window and see all of our babies out here high off fentanyl. And so we have opened up our space to allow them to come in for food. I went and bought a Netflix Fire Stick so they can watch TV if they come in, So just to make them comfortable. Yes. So just to make them comfortable if they come in. And so out of that, we were able to birth the ROC program. It's called Recreation of Change. And so it's for young people 14 to 28 who suffer from substance use disorder or have been affected by substance use disorder. And so that program is going super well. We have about 8 kids in it now. A couple of them suffer from substance use disorder. It's heartbreaking because they're so young. They like 16.
Yeah.
19, but yeah, that's what we wanted to do, and it's been effective at the moment.
Awesome. Sounds amazing. So, and I know that you guys are a nonprofit, correct?
Correct.
Where does most of your funding? We got to talk about the pocket change. Where does some of your funding come from to keep the doors open? I know that can be difficult.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna be honest. It's through God's grace and mercy that the doors is open.
You better tell them. You better tell them.
I know I sound crazy to some people, but the honest truth is, I know that I tell them all the time, I don't work for people, I work for God. And so that's why I don't worry about the money. I just do the work, right? Because TCRP is living off of grants. Yeah. We don't have a lot of private donors. I'm working on this year because actually, I think a couple of days ago, I made my second year as CEO. So I'm just really finding my way.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm just now finding my way. For many, many years, I was Mark's background. I never liked upfront. That was his thing, right? And so now I have to find my way. And it's taking a bit, but I'm getting there. And so my goal is to get out there so I can connect to organizations that can give us dollars, like unrestricted dollars, right? Get to those foundations that will donate us money, because living off of grants is not an easy thing to do, especially like right now. I got payroll coming up, and we still waiting on reimbursements, right?
Right. Yep. I know how that goes. Right. I 100% know.
And it's like we look great on paper, like our bank account should be having millions of dollars, but it don't.
Right.
I got like 10, 12 grants, so I should have a lot of money, and I don't. Right. Because grants don't come when they're supposed to. So it's a hard road to travel.
No, I 100%, as me, you used to work at MRC and know about the grant process and all that goes. Yes, it can be stressful. We'll say, like we talked about before, it can be a little stressful at the top, right? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what does TCRP, what are your most urgent needs? Now we know money wise, but as far as, and really that's everybody's urgent need, right? But what do you feel TCRP probably needs the most right now?
Besides money, I would say.
Or if anything,
No, for sure. I think besides money, I would say volunteers.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, we need more people that I think a lot of people shy away from addiction.
And why do you think that?
Because of the stigma.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get people to commit to volunteering.
Yeah. Well, and I think in this busy world and this hustle and bustle, everybody's trying to get the next dollar, you know what I mean? And so sometimes I think volunteering is unfortunately put as a priority way at the bottom of the list. Oh, if I have extra time, if something comes up and I can do it, or you know what I mean? Right. And so that's really difficult to get volunteers. So I 100% understand that. Also in a world where it seems like everybody's still short staffed. How is TCRP doing with staffing? Are you good in that area?
I told you, through God's grace and mercy, TCRP is doing some incredible things. And one of the things is I don't have a problem with staff.
Good.
I'm grateful that the staff that we hired when Mark was alive, they still with me.
Awesome.
We've been able to hire additional staff. And my problem right now is I don't have enough staff, but I can't
Right.
afford to hire more staff, right? Because
Right.
our demand is so big. We're sitting on Broadway, and if you're on Broadway, people coming through our doors like all day, right? And so it's the staff that I need.
Right. I hear you. I
But
hear you.
there's no dollars.
Well, so and we're in our last 5 minutes, so I wanna let everybody know. You heard what she said. She needs staff. She needs volunteers. She needs money. Okay, open up your pocketbooks. And
Yes.
we are gonna talk about how to donate here in just a second. But I just want to see what's next for TCRP. I mean, I know we got the Boots on the Ground Summit coming up, and I'm super excited to attend that. Is there anything else that's coming up in the future that you can talk to us about?
Oh, yes. One of the things that I'm really excited about is I am preparing to do a commercial. I want to
Yes.
yes, and it will be about addiction and recovery. And I want to make sure that young people are involved and at the forefront. And so I'm just trying to get some of these city folk with the money behind me to fund it. And so I think they're looking at it and they think it's a great idea. So my hope is that in the very near future, TCRP will be able to produce and put it out there, and I hope everybody enjoy it.
Yes, yes. Well, we would definitely be looking for it. And I'm spiritual too, so it is already done, honey. So,
Amen. I received that.
yes. So just really quick before we end here, tell us how we can donate to TCRP. What ways are we able to donate?
So you can go to TwinCitiesRecoveryProject.org. And on our website, we have a PayPal account. And if you hit the donation button, there's a drop down. You can do Zelle, you can do PayPal, you can do Venmo. Girl, they got it all. And you can even select where you want the money to go. So we have programming, we have outreach. So whatever you want your money to go is where it will be designated to.
Awesome. Well, y'all heard it here. They got every type of payment form method that you can use. So go to TCRP site. Any volunteers, okay,
Absolutely.
And staff support, love all of that. So yes, well, thank you so much. I am so appreciative for you taking the time out, because I know you're a busy lady, for being here on HPPTreasure Talk. I wish the best for you. I will definitely 100% be at the Boots on the Ground for Summit event. Definitely will be there. And TPP Treasure will also be donating something to TCRP as well.
Thank you.
All right, hon. Well, thank you so much. And that's it for us today, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. See you next time.